Alrighty, folks, we're back with another new album review. One that I've been trying to get to for a while, but just could never seem to get around to it. And that is from the swamps of Virginia, Wood Witch, Synna Modor, I believe is how you say this. Scott Waters actually turned me on to this one. Saw him talking about it. Said it was classic doom. Not to mention the fact he said it was good. So I was like, yep, I'm gonna go check these guys out. Not much in the way of the booklet. The lyrics there. So yeah, these guys were formed in 2018 in Virginia. They released 2 EPs in 2021, one of which I recently ordered. The other one was sold out on their Bandcamp page. I think they release all their music on their own so far. Don't have a label. They had a live album come out in 2021 also. I think that is just digital. And then their debut came out in 2022 called Eyes of Darkness. And then we have Synna Modor in 2025. So yeah, like I mentioned, these guys, doom band, kick off with a track called Solitude Is My Name. Big, doomy Candlemass riff right out of the gate. Very Iommi-ish guitar soloing in this one. The first solo is very reminiscent of what you might hear on the Sabbath debut. And then you get a closing solo, which sounds like it came right out of Volume 4. Stones of Scorn is your next track, upbeat chugger. Actually reminds me a lot of what you might hear from maybe like an epic power metal band like Achelos out of Greece. Then you get some closing monk chants in it too, which is a nice touch. Always welcomed on a doom album. Under Salem Shadow, very Into the Void inspired riffing on this track. I didn't mention the guys' names. Let me read those. Daniel Perry, it's a 3-piece. Daniel Perry is on guitar and vocals. Wade Wiggs Johnson is on bass, and Ryan Mardre is on drums. So Daniel Perry is able to pull out riffs that sound like they're from, or solos, I should say. It's more as soloing. That sounds like he can do any Tony Iommi era. So he does a lot of that on this album, Masters of Reality era, with the Into the Void type riffing and soloing as well. Synna Modor is your next one. It's the title track. This is a slower, sludgy number. It's the tale of Sarah the Witch being accused of sleeping with the devil and being impregnated with its offspring, to which she eventually pleads guilty at the end of the song. Black Dahlia is your next track. Very Mothership sounding tune in both the riffs and the vocal delivery. He has Perry's voice is very similar to Kyle Jewett from Mothership. Not as gruff. Maybe has a little more sonic power to his voice. Suspiriorum is your next track. Classic doom riffing instrumental in this one. Nocturnal Rite. This one has like a kind of that cathedral type swing to it. Later in the track you get this really crunchy bass breakdown that goes into this kind of Solitude-esque, Black Sabbath Solitude, not Candlemass Solitude, guitar piece before bringing back that cathedral swing to it. Darkness Within this is where the Candlemass riffing comes back. And then the middle section of the song, they kind of launch into this, like, the rhythm sections doing this very Children of the Grave type riffing, and then Perry is throwing in Snowblind-esque type guitar solo over the top of it. Pretty cool. The Sabbath is your next track. Another instrumental loaded with Sabbathisms throughout the track, as you might expect. You get some nice bass work here, and good drum work too. Ryan Mardre, he is not a big of a disciple of Bill Ward as Perry is of Iommi, but he does have his Bill Ward type moments. And the song instrumental even closes with the Sweet Leaf riff, so that's a nice touch. And then Raise the Dead is your last track. It's got a good volume 4 type crunch. You get a nice groove in this one. You get some gang chants in this one. So overall, I'm going to give this album 8.25 out of 10. It starts off really strong. I think the sequencing on the album may affect its score a little bit, because I think it kind of is very front heavy. And it doesn't peter out at the end. It's just not as strong as the beginning. So I think some better sequencing songs might have helped it out a little bit. But yeah, 8.25 out of 10 is still a strong album. The highlight is obviously Perry's guitar playing. I mean, the dude is an Iommi aficionado, and there's Iommi inspired riffing all over this thing. Soloing, I should say. The riffing, if you like Candlemass, Cathedral, Mothership, of course Sabbath, you're going to like all the riffs on here. And then, like I said, the soloing is just straight out of the Iommi playbook. So Wood Witch, Synna, Modor, 8.25 out of 10. You guys have a good one.